Story now about another industry that's been significantly impacted by the stay-at-home orders now in place, talking about funeral homes. The limit on how many people can gather in one place really makes it pretty difficult for people to pay their final respects. Our Nora Perez looks into that for us tonight.
Something that we just, as a funeral home, have not been ever faced with.
Noe Lopez, co-owner and operator of Saxit Funeral Home, says his business has faced many challenges these past few weeks in providing memorial services for the community because of social distancing guidelines put in place to limit and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Every day it was changing from 1 hour to the next. It would be 50 people max, and then 10 people the next 5 minutes. It was very difficult for the families that were trying to get the services done as soon as possible before the ordinance would change again.
His funeral home has implemented meticulous guidelines, from grouping people in attendance and holding them in separate rooms with live streams of the services, to repeatedly sanitizing pens and sign-in books. All of this to provide families with everything they need at this difficult time.
We want to make sure that our families get the closure that they need. This isn't their fault,
Nora Perez, 3 News.